Hey, Jerry Upchurch here. Want to get a note out to you today on the true causes of disease. Now, you might say, how in the world can we come up with one thing or two things that are true causes of disease? But I've grown to love Dr. Barbara O'Neill. She is a naturopathic doctor, an MD, and a nutritionalist from Australia. And she has been putting on some fantastic webinars and seminars and YouTubes about health and living a long, healthy life. So what I want to do is I watched 2 or 3 or 4 of her videos this week, and they're all about an hour long, and I want to encourage you to go to her site and pick out some and watch them. I've got some listed in my blog I'll tell you about. But she goes into the 2 myths about disease. The myth number 1 is, the first myth is about germs, and the second one is about genes. And those are the 2 things that are initially, by myth, are considered to be causes of disease. Now, she says they're myths because in our genes, and Dr. Bruce Lipton kind of agrees with this, he says that our genes have about 5% of the effect on our life, on our longevity, and it's our environment that makes all the difference in the world. And this is the same thing that Dr. O'Neill is saying, is that the genes hold the gun, but we as individuals pull the trigger. The genes hold the gun and we pull the trigger. So if we don't, how do we pull the trigger, I should say, is that we pull the trigger by associating ourselves with an environment that does not create life and health. And that's her mission, is to create an environment for each of us to live in that creates life and health in our bodies. So she also says germs, when she considers genes and germs, the genes hold the gun, we pull the trigger. Germs, it's not the microbes, it's the environment. So that's the same thing Bruce Lipton is saying. So, and Dr. Bruce Lipton has done cellular studies that show that if you drop a cell into a petri dish, and that petri dish has nutrition on one side and it has toxins on the other, the cell will migrate toward the nutrition. It always wants to have a healthy environment to live in. So that's one of the things that he's done in his lifetime study. So going back to what Dr. O'Neill is saying, is she's saying that there are basically 6 things that actually cause disease within the body. Now, I'm just going to run through those 6 things real quickly. The first is chemicals, the chemicals in our environment. And by the environment, she means internal environment, what we're putting into our bodies, the toxic things that we're putting into our bodies, and the toxic things that we have, that we live with, like fluorine and chlorine and all that sort of stuff. The second thing are GMO foods. GMO foods are actually mutilating our DNA. So the chemicals that are put into our foods to cause them to grow rapidly and that sort of stuff are causing all the nutrients to be removed from them, and it's actually mutilating or changing our DNA. The third thing she says is mineral deficiencies. We're told because that salt causes high blood pressure and stuff like that. And I'll do another blog on high blood pressure because that is so interesting. I've been doing a lot of studying on that too. But the salt that we're eating today, the sodium chloride, is basically deficient in something like 89% of the minerals that our body needs. And she says that we should be eating Celtic salt and Himalayan salt because both those have 82% of the minerals that our body needs. And then from there, stimulants. Stimulants are, and she went on and on about the stimulants, and the stimulants are sugar. sugar. You can see that happening in children when they have too much candy. Caffeine, we all have to get up and have our caffeine every morning to stimulate us to get going. So it's the sugar, the caffeine, it's the tobacco, it's the alcohol, it's the, what else? So tobacco, alcohol, caffeine, sugar mainly, and the last thing, drugs, yeah, the medications that we take are actually stimulating our body in the wrong ways and causing different things to happen. Each drug that we take has so many effects, bad body effects, that is causing more disruption in our life than causing good. And all they're doing is creating, trying to eliminate symptoms. They're never going directly toward the cause of the problem that we're having. So drugs is the other part. And the fifth thing that she mentions is fungus and mold. And we have that. The fungus and mold are causing cell damage in our bodies. And then the sixth thing she mentions is electromagnetic fields, which is not something that our parents dealt with, but it's something we are dealing with and our children are dealing with, and it's caused by our cell phones, our late night computer use, charging our phone by our bed, clocks by our bed, and that sort of stuff, causing a field, internet access, wireless internet access within the house. All of these things, electromagnetic fields, tend to be causing disease within our bodies. So let me run over those again just so I can remember and you remember what they are. They're chemicals. They are GMO foods. They are mineral deficiency, stimulants, what else? Fungus and mold, and number 6 is electromagnetic fields. So all those things are contributing to disease in our bodies and lack of longevity. So what I want you to do is, I've got a blog, and it's jerryanddiane.com. It's the home base for all my blogs. But I want you to go there, look at the blog, read the blog, give me some feedback on what you think about this. I'm going to be doing some study on this a little bit more. I'm going to give you some links to Dr. O'Neill's blogs, or not blogs, but her YouTube videos, because she does some extensive training on all of these areas of health and wellness. And so just look at the blog, read the blog, give me some feedback, and let me know what you think. Hey, love you. Bye.